Embracing the football scene on the Rock of Gibraltar with Adam Roberts and Steve Brown.
Well, good evening and welcome to another week of the Gibraltar Footie Show. It is week 6. Adam Roberts has just told me that it's week 6. Is that right? Is that right, Adam?
Yeah, week 6, still going strong. Still loving it as if it was the first one.
Yeah, and a lot of interesting things have gone. A lot of things we're going to be talking about this week as well. We've had a bit of interaction online. I believe that someone from the Isle of Man has been chirping up, saying that we're not sounding as good as them for some reason.
Yeah, I saw their comments. We'll have to bring them on the show, or we'll have to come on theirs and see how things go.
Yeah, but it's been an interesting week on the Rock. I know that you've probably witnessed quite a lot of football in the last week or so, and also you managed to catch up with one of the Lions players, I believe.
Yeah, I watched they came from behind to beat Montscalpe last week, and I enjoyed watching Shea. I've seen him for a few years now, and just thought we could get a few words out of him. I know Lions are doing really well at the moment, sitting 4th now, so I thought we'd have a chat, see how things are going.
Yeah, but we'll start off with the second division as we always do, and we start off with the game that took place on Thursday evening between Europa and College 1975.
Yeah, it was a good win for Europa Point. They didn't really think College would give them much a game, but I was mistaken. It was 0-0 at half time. Europa Point probably saw it was going to be another Hound Dogs result, which they really can't afford, looking at how the table in second division is going at the moment. But a big second half from the boys, and they ended up running out for 4-0 winners.
Yeah, they really needed that win, don't they? Because that lifts them up to 3rd place now, equal with Angels FC, who've played a game less. But they certainly needed to put that performance in to stay within touching distance of the top 3.
Yeah, of course. It's every week really. The second division is getting much more difficult. There's a lot more pressure now on the teams. I think last week Boca were top, and now a week later they're 4th, and they really need to start picking up some points. But they've got, I think it's 2 games in hand, so they literally need to win both games.
And as you just said, Angels 5-0 victory against Hound Dog. It's looking like it's going to be a difficult slog for the Dogs.
Yeah, I think it was always really going to be difficult for them. I don't think they have a team to compete. They're there for. They've got their own goals. There's a lot of teams in second division that are paying a ridiculous amount, and they're just buying success. While Hound Dogs are really starting. They're the only team really that's starting from the bottom up, and good on them.
Yeah, we spoke about it, didn't we, a couple of weeks back, about the principles of Hound Dogs and bringing the homegrown talent through and giving them a game.
Yeah, I know them. They get a lot of players from that really struggle to get in the reserves of Prem teams. And I speak to Urge on WhatsApp quite a lot, and he's always telling me that he's got players banging on the door, really wanting to play football, because they've seen their mates that have left the team and gone to Hound Dogs and are getting 90 minutes, and obviously they want to do the same.
Just hold on a second, I'm eating something. Very professional.
Yeah.
And Cannons with a 3-1 victory over Leo.
Good performance. I think they're again one team that can't really afford to slip up. Looking how things are. After their 2 losses, they've seen that it's quite difficult. You're playing every team's different, and they can't really afford to be dropping points against teams lower than them. So it was a good win for them, and now they can just push on to the next one.
And of course, I was looking at the league table. We were chatting to the assistant manager of Magpies last week. They're not having it as good as they thought it were going to be.
Which one was that one? Magpies?
The Magpies, yeah.
It's crazy.
I don't know what's happening there. Do you any ideas? I know we're only 5 games in, but they would have expected to have a couple of more points on the board, I suspect.
Yeah, it's a weird one, really. They're not looking the same team they've been for the last 2 or 3 seasons, but just I think they started slow. I know that Dave Wilson made it clear just before the season started that his preparation was cut short because of the way GFA had changed the league fixtures. So obviously that didn't help his side, and now I think they kind of struggled, and now hopefully with a few wins under their belt they can really kick on and catch up with Cannons, who are sitting top. But they're only I know 8 points sounds a lot, but with the second division how it is, you never know what could happen.
Yeah, but I've had this conversation with David. I spoke to him before the season kicked off about the issues regarding the changes to the start of the season, but it's same for all sides. You know, it's been same for every single team taking part. The preparations have been the same. They've had to wait to start their league, so you can't use that as an excuse, can you?
No, at all. Like, I presume they're looking at their side with the players they brought in. You'd expect them to be doing a lot better than they are, but there's just something that's not ticking with them at the moment that's doing it that the rest are. Like, you look at Boca, how well they've been doing. They're probably with the ball at their feet, they're probably technically one of the best sides in the league right now. And you look at the rest, Europa Point are doing well. Angels, everyone expects them to run away with the league if all their players can get match fit. And then you've got Cannons again, who I think no one really expected them to be doing as well as they've been doing over the last few seasons.
And of course, Europa, we did touch upon it, I think it was last week or the week before, that the consortium's joining them from America.
Yeah, I know the one of the board members, James Fawn, as well. I'm always speaking with their president John, and they're looking forward to this deal. They know it's a big move for the club. I presume the players that will be coming in January will be of top quality, and I think they could be probably the favourites to battle with Angels and Cannon for the top.
Yeah, because you would expect maybe some academy players to be coming in, or some students from the States maybe joining up for the second half of the season.
Yeah, I've seen a few American players who have come to Gib or have played in the American League, and they're of good quality. You look at Billy O'Dwyer, he's a centre mid at Lynx. He was playing in America. I think he was roommates, or he was something close to Anthony Barden of Lincoln, which is crazy. You know, you see Anthony playing in Gib, and then some player from the US comes over, and they knew each other, which is crazy.
Brilliant, which would have made it a bit easier for him to settle in, I suppose, knowing that Anthony was already playing here on the Rock.
Yeah, of course. I guess it helps when you're changing country. It helps that you've got people here that you know and can settle you down.
Moving on to the Premier, then, looking at Manchester's game against Glasses, a 1-1 draw and a good result for Glasses.
Yeah, I think both teams should have really been looked at it as a win. I don't think neither would be happy about the draw, but I think Manchester had put a good performance from what I saw. But Glasses again ending with 10 men. It's two red cards in 2 games for them now.
Yeah, so the disciplinary stuff needs to be sorted out. You know, they need to have that discipline, have that mentality of being able to, keep control of the feelings on the field. Yeah,
of course, it's something that if you're getting sent off against the big teams, it's gonna cost you. And you can't really afford to be playing again with 10 or 9 men against a team like Lincoln, Europa, St. Joseph's. But one credit I do have to give out is to Paul Podesta. He was almost in that target man role, which Lee has been playing with Gibraltar internationally, and he's been a good job at. He's been doing a good job at it, and hopefully he can continue in his performances at the moment and see and see maybe he can take Lee's role when he passes on.
Yeah, well, you did catch up with Shea in week. We've got that interview coming up in the next 5 or 10 minutes. But Lions, a 2-1 win against Mons Calpe.
Yeah, they came from behind after the first half performance and Mons leading at half time. I kind of expected them to just hold out. They looked a much better team. They looked very comfortable. Lions were in there, but they weren't really giving Mons anything to worry about. But then a mistake, Lions equalise, and then out of nowhere, Lions get a winner. I think the person who assisted Jace Consiguero, he would only been on the pitch 5-6 minutes, took a free kick and found someone in the box, and they scored, and they hold on to all 3 points.
Yeah, well, they're currently fourth in the league. You know, they played 10 points on the board. So far, so good for Lions.
Yeah, they're one team that surprised me loads. I didn't really expect them to be as good as they are. The loss against St. Joseph's again was very unlucky. They had many chances, but the keeper that day was on top form, and I think a big test for them now is Lincoln, who they played. Well, they're playing right now as we're recording this. Yeah.
Well, talking of Lincoln, they got a narrow victory against what I call your side, because, you know, I'd like you do a bit of work for them. But the lads would have been disappointed, but there's a lot of positive to take from that 1-0 defeat against Lincoln.
Yeah, it was a tight game. I'm not going to go too much into it, because it's, you know how people are with talking about favouritism and that, so I'm going to keep it short and to the point. But
we don't have any fucking favouritism on here. What are you talking about? Say how you see it. Say as you see it. Say as you see it.
Yeah, it's true. You know how people. You know, if you knew how people in Gibboy, you'd be surprised at the amount of crap they talk. But yeah, so on a serious note, Lincoln were the dominant side. We can, even though it was 1-0, it was a tight. Lincoln did dominate the game for large parts. I think once they won the midfield battle, it was very difficult for Gibraltar to get back into it. But again, some very good saves from Shino. He had a really good game. The defence was very tight. It was very difficult for Lincoln to have any chances. I think the only way they were getting chances were crosses into the box. So it was a good result. I know the lads are training at the moment, and they'll be looking at the next game to get back into the title race.
Well, I managed to see the goal. Do you think Chino were to blame for that?
I don't know. I spoke to a few guys about it, really, and they were.
But it seemed to come through. It seemed to come through. It seemed to come through a wall of players. I think he saw it at the last minute and just reacted. Yeah,
it was kind of like a reflex shot in a minute. I think you can look at. I think it was George who shot, and there were so many people in front of him. A few people were here in the stadium. Sorry, what were you going to say? That what?
No, I was just going to say he just got his body in the way, and instead of kind of palming it out towards the side, it went back into the central position, and they just mopped it up, didn't they, by just finishing it off?
Yeah, I think Falu was the quickest to react to it. I was speaking to a few people in the stands after the game, and they were thinking, "Oh, could Shino have done better?" It almost looked as if the ball just bounced, hit his knee or hit his chest, and went back out. But I think Shino knows what really happened, and he'll be working in training to make up for the loss of it.
I watched it a few times, and after a while, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, because I think they hit it with so much power, and it went through kind of a rookie of 2 or 3 players, and he just reacted so quickly, and then he couldn't respond to the second ball, could he?
No, at all, and that's what Lincoln are. That's why Lincoln are on a different level to anyone else. You just look at how they play, and they just need a chance. You look at other teams, and they're always talking, "Oh, if we had scored this, this, and this," Lincoln score this, this, and this, and that's why they're such a dominant side in Gibraltar right now.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to be looking at the games ahead, the predictions as well for the coming week on the Rock and in the Football League. But you had a chance to catch up with one of the Lions players, I believe. You catch up with Shea.
Yeah, I was speaking with Shea Breakspear. He's been speaking with him for a few years now. When he was at Britannia, we kind of got to know him a bit more, and he's always been he's a nice guy on and off the pitch, and he's one of these maybe fringe players that was in the national team when Jeff was over, and he's a big fan of the podcast, so he was always
good lad.
Yeah, he knows what's good, no?
He were always going to get the thumbs up then, weren't he?
Yeah, exactly. He was always going to get spoken to first.
Brilliant. Well, let's listen to your conversation with Shea then.
Today we welcome to the show Lions defender Shea Breakspear.
Thanks for having me.
So Shea, how's it feel winning so dramatically against Montgalpa last weekend?
It's a great feeling to be winning again. It's even better with 10 men as well. Feeling's even better. But we'll see. It was good.
Did you feel when you went down to 10 men at 1-1 that maybe you were just going to hold back, like stay back and just play for the draw?
Yeah, they was pushing all the pressure on us, but we've always got a chance with the strikers we got and the players we got to nick a goal. I thought we'd done well.
And you were saying about the players you got, it's been quite a turnaround really when you look at how Lions suffered so badly last year, and now this year you're sitting fourth. You're 4 points away from second place. It's been quite a season.
Yeah, it's been quite a turnaround considering last year we was fighting the relegation battle, but Rafa's made some good signings. I think we've got about 16, maybe 17 new players in, and they're all very, very good players, and looks like we can compete this year.
You see that when you're saying competing, do you feel you compete more when there's more foreign players than there is local players? Because I know you've had last season you had to put a lot of youngsters in, and you suffered really through that.
Yeah,
we
suffered just not having a big enough squad last season, I think, and this season, obviously with more foreign players, a bigger squad, and the quality does improve, so it's helped us out.
Have you seen your game improve over the last few years while you've been playing here?
Oh yeah, definitely. Over the last 3 or 4 seasons, I felt myself improve quite a lot, more technically than anything, because I think it's a quite technical game in Gib, and my background, I'm not the most technical player. I'm more of a kick it, head it defender.
Yeah, you love a tackle, right?
Yeah, I love a tackle. So I feel my technical side's improving. It can still improve a lot more, but it's getting there.
Your next game is against Lincoln.
Yeah.
After beating Europa on the opening day, you think you can get a result from that game?
Yeah, we're confident we can get a result in most games now. We just defend well and take our chances when they come. I think this league's very competitive, and any team can beat anyone at the moment, so we're looking forward to it.
So what's the goal for Lions at the end of the season?
At the moment we'll just take it game by game, but we'd like to be pushing for the third spot if we can. It's going to be very hard because there's some very good teams, but I think we've got quite a strong enough squad to do it, so we'll be pushing for it.
For the last few seasons, maybe 2 or 3 seasons, you've kind of been that fringe player in the national team, where you weren't maybe getting into the squad, but there were a lot of times where during photos of the team, etc., you were there at the training. Did you feel that almost was a bit misleading in a way?
Not so much misleading. I was there for 2 or 3 of the trainings before the team headed off on a few of the games. Jeff invited me down to train with the squad and get a feel for it, because I didn't qualify to be part of the national team for certain reasons and circumstances. But it got to a point where I was thinking, I'm just training, and I know I'm not going to be in the squad, and it was kind of a little bit downheartening, but at the same time it was good to get the experience to train with all the guys and that much.
So how was this whole deal with you not qualifying? Because how long have you been playing here now for?
I've been playing and living in Gib for about 13 years now, but the rules are you either have to be born in Gib, a parent born in Gib, a grandparent born in Gib, or be in school under the age of 18 for 5 years, and I don't qualify for any of them. I started here in school when I was 12, but I left when I was 16, so I was only here for 4 years under the age of 18 in school, so I don't qualify on any grounds at the moment, but I'm trying to get my nationality changed at the moment to Gibraltarian, which is a very long process at the moment, so it's taking its time.
You must have been quite unfortunate, that you watched the national team over in the most recent campaign.
Yeah.
defenders dropping out through injury, etc. And you're like, come on, I'm missing out on this by a few months.
Yeah, it's quite heartbreaking because you think I'd love to be there, and you see there's not much I can do at the moment.
You must. How did you think they did? Because when you were looking at them, they were playing against the Eden Hazards, the Lukaku. It must have been crazy.
It's crazy to see that your friends and colleagues and people you play against week in, week out, playing against Hazard and Lukaku. It's mad, but it's a dream that's possible at the moment. So it's got to keep going.
Is that something you're looking at doing now? Have you got all the kind of like paperwork set for you to be able to play with the national team?
Yeah, all the paperwork's all handed in. It's with the government at the moment, so they just have to approve it or deny it. But apparently it takes a good few months, so I have to wait and see.
So, like, literally, the Nations League that happens next September is kind of your ideal situation for you.
Yeah, that would be perfect. So I'd love to take part in that if all this is sorted in time. Because I went with the squad to the Island Games, I think 2 years ago, and I got a feel for it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being in that environment, and I can only imagine the World Cup qualifiers and everything else will be 100 times better.
It's just the whole like professionalism of being around the national setup where you don't really get that at club level. You know, when you're surrounded by players who they get paid to play, but it's not really what they want to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the whole setup, your daily routine of being away, preparing for a match in a hotel with the boys. I think it'll be completely different.
Have you played abroad before you came to Gibraltar?
Well, no, because I grew up in England, so I played in England all my life until I moved here. And I was at youth academies at Chelsea and Charlton Athletic, so I was at a youth setup from a young age. But once I moved here, it kind of disappeared.
When you were before we started talking, you were saying you were only 25.
Yeah.
Would you go back to England if a good deal came about, or are you quite stable where you are here?
I'm happy with my life in Gib, but if a good opportunity come up anywhere in the world and it was right for me and my family, I'd do it 100%.
Well, I think that's the problem. That's maybe why you don't see so many players going abroad, is because everyone is so happy here. Everyone's happy to get their nice wage from the government at the end of the month.
It's a very good, happy life in Gib, but if the opportunity ever come up, I would 100% consider it.
Is that what you'd say to even the young players at Lions, maybe that kind of look up to you? In a way, Lions have got quite a good youth setup going on, and
definitely, it's only going to better you if you can get experience in other countries and other leagues. It's going to better you as a person, as a player, pick up languages, different styles of play. So I would definitely recommend anyone that had the opportunity to take it or seriously consider it.
What about coaching? Do you think you see yourself as a coach maybe when your time's up playing?
I think so. I think I would enjoy it, but I think I'd miss it too much not playing. I don't know how I could handle just being on the side and watching it. Because sometimes if I'm in the stands, if I'm injured watching a game, for me it's the worst thing, just watching it and not being able to have too much of an influence. So, I'm not sure yet. I would like to, but we'll see.
Teaching all those youngsters to go in hard like you've done like every other game.
Yeah, I'd love that, to be honest.
I think if we were just to go back to the club, I think maybe the thing you won't. I know you had a bit of trouble with the relegation in the last 2 seasons. You've been in and out of the relegation zone with Britannia. You lost on the final day.
Yeah.
That must have been also quite heartbreaking, because in January you were second or third. Mm-hmm. You really had this real buzz around the team. Everyone was playing well, and then all of a sudden one thing happens and you've lost to Monscalpe, and Britannia just weren't there anymore. They just left.
Yeah, we started the season really promising with Britannia that year. It was I was on loan from Manchester at the time, and I spoke to James Watson, who was president of the club, and he showed me all these ideas and who they're getting in, and it sounded really promising. So I thought, why not? I'll give it a go. The season started great. We had some really, really, really good players. Like you said, we were second, third until January. Things happened in January, managers left, players left, and we was left to the bare minimums of the squad, so we just had to fight every game after that and just to keep in the league. And unfortunately on the last day we couldn't do it, and we got relegated.
I know you're having trouble with the homegrown player rule, etc., but do you feel the way it's set out by the GFA now is good enough for football in Gibraltar? Do you feel that they should quickly
raise it to 3 or 4 starting?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because then I think people will just try and abuse that rule if they could. It's hard. I think you need to take it on a case-by-case basis, really. And I don't know. It's a tough one. I can't really complain how it's set out at the moment, but I've just got to wait my time, I suppose.
So now, like we were saying earlier, you've got the Nations League in September. What would you say your goals are for let's say the next 2-3 seasons?
Hopefully just to be in contention for that squad, and hopefully be in that squad, and if I am in the squad, get some minutes where possible. So step by step. First of all, I've got to play well for my club to be noticed by the manager, the GFA manager, and see what goes from there.
You think you'll be looking at maybe getting one of those European competitions in the next few years, or do you think that's kind of not really in your goals right now?
I would hope so. I'd like to. I mean, I'm 25 now, so the next one's in, I'm not sure when, 2 years, is it? The next games? So I'll be 27, 28 then. Good prime, I suppose, so I'm hopeful. I just got to train harder and play better.
Well, Shea, thank you and good luck for
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me, mate.
Every kick, every shot, every goal, and every Thursday on the Gibraltar Footie Show.
Well, that was an excellent interview there with Shea. Adam, you must have enjoyed chatting to him.
Yeah, we were talking for ages. Really, we had so much to say, and I kind of got a more understanding role of what was going on with him and the national side. You know, you trying to get anything out of the GFA is like trying to get blood out of a stone. So it was good to be able to sit down and get more of an understanding of what really went on.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's always a pleasure, and anyone who likes the show are certainly in our fan club, aren't they?
Yeah, they're always. We should start getting our little club on. Try and see if we can get the Gibraltar Football Club. See who we can get.
The thing is, though, if we carry on digging people, they're all going to piss off and listen to something else.
What are they going to listen to? What are they going to listen to? GBC? I don't think half an hour every week.
That's bedtime listening, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Make you fall asleep.
Can leave Newswatch for another day.
But moving on, I forgot to mention him, but of course we were talking about him quite a lot, and I thought the Europa manager, had he got the defeat, it would have been a defeat against St Joseph's. He was certainly going to be getting the sack, but they managed to just scrape through with a 1-0 win against St Joseph's.
Yeah, and you're actually quite right about what you said about the manager. There were a few rumours going around in the stadium, kind of this like hashtag stadium talk. You know, you get that everywhere. Try and get that hashtag trending soon. And we can almost categorically confirm that the manager was going to be out if he lost to St Joseph's, but he.
But it's not convincing, is it? It's not convincing, though, is it? Because it still must be on borrowed time. Because 1-0 win against, St Joseph's, very good, solid team, top 3 side from last season. But Europa, their expectations are a lot higher than this, and I don't think he's reaching them. At
all. I think the Europa board, when they sat down before the season started, they would have expected them to be first or second, but they're now 5th. They're quite a mile away from Lincoln, so he better be picking up points now, and I don't think he can afford a loss for a good couple of games.
Well, if you look at it, they're 11 points behind Lincoln as we speak, and we're only on week 6.
He's got a lot of catching up to do.
I don't think he'll catch them up if he were playing for 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think that'll be pretty tough, really. I don't think anyone really is going to catch Lincoln at the moment.
But touching on St Joseph's, they're still in a good, healthy position. I do like St Joseph's. I managed to chat to JP. Is it JP Pias?
John Paul Duarte.
John Paul Duarte. Yes, let me get that one right. I'll have to edit that one out.
Yeah, don't think you'll be best pleased with that one.
But a fantastic chap, and they're having a good season again.
Yeah, they started very, very slow. They were winning games, but the performances weren't there. but I saw after the Lions game, I saw that the St. Joseph's were getting to how they were the old, maybe the last 2 seasons, and now I think with the introduction of Conejo, who's been at Benfica, been at Malaga, Barcelona, they're looking a very good side at the moment.
Brilliant. And another team we've spoken a lot about, of course, with Sergeant Major Buller we were talking about. They've bought a win, mate. They've got a win.
I know. What you can't say anything at them at the moment.
How did they manage to pull that one off? Well, bloody well done.
That's a start. Very true.
You know, fantastic. What a response. But why does it take... This is what gets me in football in general. Why does it take for a manager to be sacked for a team to respond?
It's unfortunate. You know, with the kind of manager Buller was, you would have expected Lynx to be doing very well. But I don't know if it was the gelling of the players or the players Buller was picking weren't of the best quality that he had there. But anyways, I don't think Lynx really care right now, and I think they're just happy
definitely not
with the win.
Yeah, they're off the board and off that bottom slot, and hopefully they can go on from strength to strength. Confidence breeds confidence, as you know, and hopefully they can start to put some good wins together.
Yeah, if they can carry on picking up points against the lower teams like they did against Phoenix, I think they've got a really good chance of staying up. Phoenix, really, you would have expected them to have won that game. They were leading 1-0. They looked very, very comfortable going in at the break, but Lynx get a free kick. Mohamed Badra, he's a good friend of mine, scored one of his lover's Ronaldo free kicks, and then just from there, Lynx looked a different team. Major confidence boost, and they went on, scored again, and that's 3 points in the bag.
Yeah, 3 points in the bag, and well done to Lynx. And then my team, who I've been talking saying a lot of good things about, Glasses 1-0 against Monscalpe. What a result!
Yeah, that was strange. I was wondering why there was a game on a Monday, but it looks like because of the season, how tight things are with the Rock Cup as well coming up. Match day 9 was brought forward. I don't understand how you can bring fixtures forward, but somehow we're playing match day 9 before we're playing match day 7. I was a bit confused by that on Monday morning, as you expect. On a Monday morning, you're not at your brightest. But
I'm going to say that sounds a little bit iffy when it's as if people can select the fixtures.
I know it's just different. It just seems weird. Like, I don't think would you see in Premier League where they'd bring forward football games. It just doesn't seem right, really.
Well, normally you're going to bring a game forward if you're in a cup competition or something's going on, but there's no reason to bring this fixture forward, is there?
Yeah, they brought the fixture forward only really because of the Rock Cup, and the people who were in the Rock Cup first round are all second division teams. So I don't know. I honestly don't know what to say.
Brilliant stuff. Well, we are going to be looking at the predictions and looking at the games coming up this coming week. But you were chatting to me about Football Manager. I don't play this crap. What is it?
Yeah, it's just it was just a thought of mine. I've realised over the last few weeks that maybe 2 guests is a bit too long. So I thought we'd talk about some topics, and today's one I thought we'd speak about Football Manager. I'm always in contact with John McMillan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's an absolute Gib football fanatic.
He is. And I believe he's a Burnley supporter. Which makes him even better. And last week, John actually got all the answers right to the questions last week.
Yeah, the football one, the FA Cup.
The football ones, yeah, the FA Cup ones. Well, the first one was Watford, followed by Newcastle, then Tottenham, Manchester City, and West Bromwich Albion. I was looking for the opponents, and what it was It was talking about the goal that Andy Gray scored for Everton against Watford. The Newcastle one, I believe, was I think that was Ronnie Radford scoring for Hereford against Newcastle United. The Tottenham Hotspur one was Keith Ouchin with a diving header in the cup final for Coventry City. Number 4 Man City, that was Ricky Villa scoring for Tottenham Hotspur against Manchester City. And then finally, Tim Bazaglo, who was scoring for Woking against West Bromwich Albion. And Tim Bazaglo, I believe, played cricket for Gibraltar.
I have no idea who any of those guys are.
I'm an old man. Forgive me.
I do not
Forgive
think
me.
I was even born. Apart
You
from
weren't.
Andy Gray. The rest, I don't think I was even born for them.
You were a twinkle in your daddy's eye. But anyway, I've got to say a big thumbs up and a back slap to John McMillan. But going back to this Football Manager stuff, tell us about it.
Yeah, it's obviously we know Football Manager is one of these big computer games going around, and you always read on Facebook that players can get really addicted to it, and they take normally what this game is really about, or what the principles is. You're kind of taking a lower league team. Let's say taking a team in conference or whatever, you get them all the way to the Champions League in as quick as possible, etc. And you hear a lot about people always talking about, oh, I've got this team to the top, and they send their CVs to football teams, which is crazy. You're always seeing like the Lad Bible, etc. all posting it on their social media. But thanks to John, massive credit to him, man. I'm always in contact with him, and he's always saying what good work we're doing. But to be honest, we're not doing anything compared to him. He's putting in so much hard work into making Gibraltar what it is, really. I know we're just here for the football. We're just here to keep the fans to day by day and see what's happening. But he's doing so much work behind the scenes for transfer market. They're a massive almost football website. I'm not too sure what the actual website is about, but him and some other guy are doing up to that, making sure every team is up to date with players, positions, everything. And then on the side, he does Football Manager. So I think if you go into his Twitter page, you can find the file for the Gibraltar League, and you've got everything there. You've got from the teams, you've got all the players, the kits. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
I tell you what, we're going to have to get him on the show, aren't we?
Yeah, he's going to have to come to Gib, though. You have to get him to Gib.
Or I can speak to him in the UK if I can catch up with him.
If we can find him. I've never met him, so I think it'd be really nice to be able to sit down. We've been speaking for years now, and I think it's time we sat down and unveiled who this John guy is, who everyone's talking about.
Yeah. It's probably some bloke just in a basement somewhere in a dark room in front of a computer.
Oh man, John, we don't mean it, man. We
don't,
really
John.
do love your work.
We love you, mate. Show yourself to us. Show yourself, John.
Show us who the man behind the mask is.
Not literally, John. We don't want to see you literally. You'll be getting arrested.
I'm blocked.
But let's move on because we've been chatting quite a bit. But let's move on to the games coming up this week, Adam. Let's start in the second division as we always do. A busy forecast, a busy schedule.
Yeah, I think this week between this show and the next, there's 4 games of the second division before it breaks up for that 2-month wait. There's some really good games what I'm looking for. Tomorrow we got Boca Europa Point. That's going to be a very, very good game. How do you think that's going to end, Steve?
I think going off the recent results, going off the feel-good factor around Europa at the moment, I think they might just edge that by the 1 goal.
Because I'm the one always doing the predictions, so it's time for things to change and see how good you are at predicting games.
Well, you know more about the league than me. But what do you reckon? How do you see it going?
If anyone wins, I think it's going to be Boca.
Yeah.
Like I said before, technically they're the best team in the league.
And they have got that game in hand, haven't they, as well?
Yep. Again, that's next year. So after Boca's game tomorrow, they don't play, just like everyone else, they don't play until February. That's if everything
What
goes
are,
to plan,
what are the teams hoping to do? I'm sure that they're going to be trying to get into Spain or take them away somewhere so that they can get some game time.
It's going to be friendlies against Gib teams, really, because the Spanish league is, just because our league stopped doesn't mean everyone else's, you know what I mean? So Spain is still going to be playing weekly, and they're obviously not going to want to have their players injured for the league. So by the looks of it, I think Prem will be playing Prem, and the top teams in second division will be trying to find some games as well.
But you'd hope there might be an opportunity of maybe getting some games against some of the reserve sides in Spain, maybe, or maybe going across to Morocco.
For Morocco, I think is
No,
is one too far. I think money is merely the main thing. I don't think a lot of clubs can be joined to training camps. Really, the only one I've seen so far that have done it is Monscalpe, who sent their team to a two-week training camp in Barcelona, which is
a brilliant idea.
Yeah, of course. And if my memory serves me correct, I think they were in Barcelona when Barcelona had those terror attacks. I think they were in Barcelona at that time, or they just come back. It was one of the two. That's quite frightening, obviously, because you don't wish anyone really to be there at that time. But
anyways, it's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity. But it's a great opportunity for, say, you're struggling slightly, like a Europa, as they're struggling at the moment in the Premier. If you can take your guys away, regroup, come back fresh in January, February, you're going to come back with a new lease of life. It could make a transformation for your side.
Yeah, the teams.
It can work. It can work two ways, can't it? It can work both ways.
Yeah, the teams like that are gonna need it. I think if managers and presidents don't see their team in a position they wanted to be at the beginning of the season, I think they'll sit down and have a major everything, really. Just check everything, look what's going on, and deal with it in the 2-month period they have.
Yeah, but like you say, it is a good opportunity, not just for the manager to kind of put his team together and sort them out and restructure if he needs to, but it's also a good opportunity for, as you say, the directors, the chairmans, or whoever's in charge of the football clubs to maybe reconsider and think, hold on a minute, we can get rid of this guy, because if we put someone in now, he's got 2 months to get his team together and hopefully get them to gel.
Actually, that's a very clever idea, and I wouldn't be surprised if teams are doing that. Looking at it right now, I think if anyone's doing bets, I think Monscalpe manager will probably be the next one that's out.
Yeah, do you think, is that what's going around the stadium? Is that what's going around the football circles on the Rock?
Yeah, because everyone knows that there's a lot of money involved in Monscalpe, and I think no one in the club expects them to be as low down the league as they are, and 2, playing as poor as they are. Yeah,
because it's not looking good at the moment, is it? You know, they're in that bottom section of the Prem.
Yeah, they're not doing very well whatsoever right now, and they really need to pick themselves up and get cracking. Yeah.
Well, looking at Sunday's fixture, 1975 versus Angels FC. I think that really, sticking my neck out, I think that's going one way, and that's Angels, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Angels really have to. Angels will win that game for sure. I think they're doing really well at the moment, and I don't think College have got anything that good, really. I know they've got a few players that have played in second division before, but I think it's just the Angels will be too strong for them.
And then Hound Dogs versus Magpies. A Magpies win, or will Magpies cock it up again?
No hint.
You were going to say no comment, but
I think Magpies should win that game, really. They should.
Yeah, I'd think that Davy Wilson will have his team firing up for that one, and if they can get that win, and then it can at least get them a little bit closer, get them up that league table, and they'll be level on points with Olympic then.
Yeah, they'd be expected to win.
Because then Olympic are playing Cannons FC, who having an amazing season.
Yeah, that game will be very difficult. I think Olympic really have to be up for that game because they're quite a very inconsistent side. They're playing very well one minute, and then the next they're just falling to pieces. I think tactically they're all over the shop, and the managers really need to sit down and work on everything, because the stuff at that club needs to change if they want to catch up with Cannons.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one. But moving to the Prem, Phoenix versus 62 tomorrow night, I believe.
Yep, again, both teams need to win. Neither team can afford a loss right now. When you're looking at the bottom half of the table, you really need to win all your games against teams more or less around your level. So I think again tomorrow might be a very tough game, tight game. I don't really expecting goals galore, but I think going by how things are at the moment, a draw will probably be the result that happens at the end of the night.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good game on Friday evening. Europa versus Lynx. Now I think that with Lynx, as they're playing, they've got the new guy's in charge now. He's taken over from Buller.
Yeah, Albert.
Yeah, and the thing is, this could be a potential banana skin for Europa FC, and it could be the straw that breaks the manager's back.
You like that phrase? I've never known what it meant, but I think you seem to say it quite a lot. But yeah. Be tough.
I do. I'm like a broken record, but I think Lynx could easily. I think Lynx could get a point out of this.
Oh, I think it's kind of a bit of a far-fetched.
No, maybe a fairy tale.
Yeah, I think Europa might be playing bad at the moment, but I think they've got the quality on the pitch still there, and I think Europa should win that game.
But with the confidence,
they need to win that game.
They need to win every game now. The pressure's on, isn't it?
Yeah, I think looking at how teams above them are doing, they really do need to pick up some points. And I think the game against St. Joseph's will be a massive confidence boost to the players in the squad.
Yeah, and then Saturday evening, Calpe versus St. Joseph's. As you said, Calpe's struggling. St. Joseph's having a very good season, currently in third place. They'll be wanting to stay close by to Gibraltar United. Do you see a St. Joseph's win for that one?
St. Joseph's should win, really. Looking at their squad, they've got a good group of players, and I think both teams really need to win that game. Mons Calpe needs some confidence from somewhere, and I think like I was saying before, the manager really does need to start picking up some points before he hits the unemployment line.
Yeah, Glasses versus United. How do you see that one going?
Honestly, from a neutral's perspective, I think Gibraltar United need to win. I think they need to win, and they should win, really. Glassies are a good side. There'll be no walkovers. I know they'll be playing a few of their ex-Gib United boys who were there last year. I think they'll be looking for revenge after being let go in the summer. But I expect Glassies to put up a fight, but I think Gib United will just be too strong.
I think you're right there. I think United, a strong side. If they're focused, they want to get back to winning ways, but the way that Glasses are playing, they're stubborn, aren't they? And they're hard to break down.
They're very good. They're very good defensively. The defensive
very disciplined.
Of course, the defensive partnership of Gano and Heredia, I think his name is. I think they've been playing together for for a few years, because looking how good they are, they're never apart. They're always together. They know what they're a good.
They
unit.
can read each other really well.
And wasting I must say, wasting time is something that Glassies are also very good at. I was watching them against Monscalpe. I know every team wastes time. You know, when you're in need of a point, you got to do what you got to do. But oh my God, there were minutes. I think there was a good few minutes in that game that I'm never gonna get back, where it was just everything was wasting time. And passing the ball and letting the ball go past them, and it was very frustrating. You know, I'm not one for neither team, and whatever happens. But when I'm watching the game and reporting on the game, it is quite frustrating when you're seeing them waste time as bad as they were.
Thing is, though, if you're desperate for points like they are at the moment, you're going to take them hook or by crook, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they needed to do. That's what they did, and they got 3 points in the bag. So good on them.
Yeah. Phoenix versus Lions Monday night. How do you see that one going?
I think it all depends how Lions do tonight, and they're losing 2. I think it's 2-0 at the moment.
Yeah.
I think if they can get something positive from the Lincoln game, they should do pretty well. But again, you got to look at fatigue. You know, like every team doesn't have the kind of players Lincoln have and Europa have, where they're professionals, so they know what to do straight after games. Their bodies recover faster than a lot of the other players who they'll play today and tomorrow morning they'll wake up and go to their day job. So yeah, fatigue I think is a major thing in our leagues right now.
Well, one man who certainly don't suffer from fatigue is Grandad Cipollina, because he's just banged another one in.
Yeah, he's. I think someone was telling me he was he started off as a striker turned centre back. Yeah,
I've been there, and then you work your way back.
and he's doing really well. I believe that's his 4th goal in 7 games. 4 goals in 7 games for a centre back.
He likes to get forward, doesn't he?
Yeah, I've seen in the box. He's always scoring. He's always banging in the middle.
He's an handful.
Yeah, for any side.
Yeah, and then looking at next Wednesday, we'll be broadcasting next Wednesday, but is it 62 versus Europa? That'll be another tester, but you would expect Europa to be picking up points there.
Yeah, I think Europa will be looking at these next games as easy pickings. I think they've played more or less all the tough teams already, and I think they really need to be winning these next games to see them into that 2-month break in a better position than they were at the start of the season.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, that's another week, Adam, all wrapped up. It's done and dusted. And what's your plans for this week, mate?
Football and more football. So it's very good this time. It's the Premier League is back, thank God. So that should keep my weekend nice and busy. What about you? You doing anything good or just chilling?
I'll be commentating again. I was out last night. I was covering a game at Chorley FC. My friend's been celebrating today because he's the chairman of Guiseley, who beat Accrington Stanley in the FA Cup in the first round. So they've got a second round tie away at Mansfield Town. So I'll be trying to scrounge some tickets off him for that one. But no, I've got a busy week. Anyway, same time next week, buddy.
Anyways, mate, it's been a good one.
It's been absolutely brilliant. I'll speak to you soon. Boom. That's a wrap. That were good, that.
Done and dusted, that one.
Embracing the football scene on the Rock of Gibraltar with Adam Roberts and Steve Brown.